So I wanted to ask people on the panel, also people who are watching, are there any, how do I want to say this? Any new ways, I guess, that you have been checking in with your kids, seeing how they're doing, maybe having some of that quality one-on-one time with them. Because I think everybody on this call has multiple children, on the panel has multiple children. Is there anything new that you've started since March 2020? I know Adam had mentioned, I can't remember, was it the Leva zucchini on the
Yeah,
porch?
National Leave a Zucchini on your neighbor's porch day.
Right, right. So doing little things like that. Are there anything, is there any new family traditions or things that you've started as a way to kind of, keep an eye, keep in the loop with them in terms of seeing how they're handling everything, as, virtual schooling and the world kind of shifting before our eyes has happened?
I would say, I mean, we did start the holiday thing, like I mentioned, which has been good, but a lot of it has been, we try to find places we can go. Like we're going down to the beach in a couple weeks, which will be just vacant because everybody will be in school. And so we try to find places we can go that aren't going to have anybody there. Like we did go to the water parks a few times over the summer where basically nobody was masked, but we would go on Wednesdays because there were fewer people there. So we just tell them, hey, we're going to do as much as we can. You're not going to go to the grocery store with us, but we're going to find places where it's pretty much where it's as safe as it can be to let you go there. So we try to, and honestly, as soon as Isaac, we found out he wasn't going to go to public school, we were like, let's plan things to kind of say I'm sorry without actually having to say I'm sorry to them. So it's really just been finding the things that you can do that are still fun but are away from people.
Right, right.
Would anyone like to share who's not on the panel? I'd love to hear. I know Serena, you've been chatting a bunch in the chat, and I'd love to hear if you have anything to share, or Stacy, that'd be wonderful to hear from you. If you're on, I know your video's not on. Same with Liz, just to keep it open to everyone who's on the call with us.
I can jump in. This summer's been kind of weird because things have opened up and I felt obligated to go out and do things now that it's open. And it's been like, I'm not ready. I'm like not ready to people right now, but I also don't want to have my child suffer from me not being ready to people because he is very social and he wants to see people and do things. So we try to like go out and do things and find the balance of like hanging out at home and then doing things. But I'm like eager to hibernate again and for things to like not be nice in Seattle and rain. I'm ready for rain. I don't need sunshine anymore. And I'm like knocking on wood, asking for those things because I know that those are hard in their own way, but it's been a very weird place to be in where I feel like I'm not taking advantage of what the world has to offer. But I also feel like my body's been conditioned to not feel safe and to, even if we're vaccinated, it doesn't necessarily like change the risk level as much. I mean, there's still risk to it. So it's weird. I just can't quite put my finger on it. So trying to figure out what are we going to do? When are we going to do it? And then like, is it okay to sit on the couch for the weekend? Because that's what I want to do. That's what my heart's telling me to do. But maybe we can plan one outing once a month. So that's been weird. It's still weird. We are going to a sunflower field on Saturday. So I'm excited for that.
That sounds
great.
fun. Yeah.
I feel like for us, it's been about more like the little things. So like I realized with the kids, we need to go outside every day. Otherwise it's like insane in the house. So at the beginning of the pandemic, we like rediscovered the neighborhood, or like just discovered it because we didn't know it so well because we're always like working and traveling for work. And so we would take our bikes and like just go street to street and see what was around. And it was really fun. And so we've kind of continued to do that like every day, like let's just hop on bikes or go for a walk or like something, and like not for a long time, even if it's like 30 minutes, but at least it's that like keeping us all sane.
Mariah, did you have something you wanted to add in there?
So I found that our kids watch us an awful lot. So for us, it was really getting into modeling good behavior. I think, when you work in the office and the kids are in school, it's very, very easy to have them do their thing and you do your thing. Like, they don't know that I stop on the way to work and get, a Starbucks or, a soda or something like that. Like, they don't know about my little unhealthy habit. And, now they're like, Mom, I think that's really unhealthy for you. So there was that, like, there was a little bit of us finding out things about each other and really looking at what they were seeing. And the little traditions that we started were, we would get up in the morning and I would sit them down at the table, and just so that I could have some time to, respond to emails and get some work done, I would take a flashcard and hold up a word like bear, cat, and they would sit there and draw it. And some days I would, draw on the reverse side of the note card, and then we would all hold it up. And so now they'll still occasionally, we didn't keep up all of these things, but they'll occasionally be like, okay, we're going to have a drawing contest, right? Do you have words written down? And very early in the pandemic, we would do this, and I would tie it into a story or a lesson. One day I did like a very basic, what is it? The cycle of like who eats what. We drew like a fish and then a bear and some other things, and it was like, okay, what eats what does the fish eat? A worm. What does what eats the fish? And we would go through like some of these little science lessons. We would do like math flashcards, but I would sit and write out the math problems. So then they were seeing me do these things, and they were a little more willing to then start quizzing each other, which was very cool.
Yeah, that is super cool. I love that. I love all of these little little ways that we have been connecting with our children. Like we got a pandemic dog. And we like far into the pandemic. I mean, it took almost a full year of a pandemic of these kids asking for a dog every single day to wear me down. And so we finally got one in March of this year. So literally almost a full year of that. But what the dog has done has allowed us to get out of the house more. Like I have to go outside multiple times a day now, and not just kind of, I think as Serena said, I love to hibernate. And so the dog helps me get that fresh air more than I would get otherwise. And it's been kind of like, like a family project, a new member of the family, making sure that she's acclimated and, learning her likes and dislikes and getting her supremely spoiled. I've never seen a more spoiled dog in my life. She has to have her food cut like a certain way, her water like at a certain temperature. Like we've done a number in the like 5 months that we've had her. So yeah, very, very spoiled dog over here. But I love hearing about your traditions and the ways that you all stay connected with your children. And I see the chat going. I just want to take a look here.
Lots of good stuff.
Yeah.
Our children are these little observers who are watching us so much more than we ever knew they could.
Yes. Let's see. Yes, daily walks in the middle of the workday has helped. Sometimes my little will want to walk the neighborhood after dinner. Yes, that's always a good idea. I'm always like a little too full, and that's probably when I should go for a walk the most. But yeah, definitely, I love that.
That's one thing my wife and I started doing together, not with the kids, but since we couldn't really go out and do date nights or anything, we let the kids, their screen time every day is 30 minutes of movies after dinner before bed. And so they're now old enough that we just tell them, bye, we're going for a walk around the neighborhood. See, and they don't care. I mean, they're getting to watch TV, so they're happy. But that's one thing. I mean, we haven't really done it as a family. I just tell them to go outside and ride their bikes. But that's one way my wife and I have been able to stay connected during the pandemic instead of going out to eat or something like that.
Yeah, wonderful.
It's funny. My middle son hates going for walks. I think he's the one. He's like, I just want to lay on this couch, and it's not even that there's a TV on or anything. He wants to put his feet up on the side and lay down, and that's how he wants to stay. So I have to like force him outside. And so one of the tricks I actually took it from my oldest son's kindergarten teacher said, go on an alphabet walk. So how we do it is you look for things that start with that letter and you see how far you can get into the alphabet. We've adapted it to be a number hunt too, to try and see how high into the numbers you can go. License plates are fantastic for that because that's the best place to get numbers. And the newest one my mom actually came up with is she makes a scavenger hunt for the walks to see like, oh, can we find a guy walking a dog? Can we find a squirrel? Can we find a mailman delivering packages? And like just different things that you could try and see on the walk. And that's the way to like entice him out of the house. So it has become little games. And I didn't realize that it was a tradition until we started talking about it, that we try and do that whenever we're together or middle of the day or after dinner, try and get him out of the house. And it's always a struggle. So this is my way of getting him out.
Man, I like that alphabet walk and the number hunt like I wish I had that when my kids. I mean, I could still do it. They're 14 and 13. It's fine. We're gonna do an alphabet hunt. I really love this in this conversation and continue, to put stuff in the chat, raise your hand, come off mute, whatever, so I can see that you're ready to talk. But I'm thoroughly enjoying this conversation.